All right, so it's now being recorded, and where we on the operations on skills required, no? So okay, so just an overview of the audit, operational auditing. Just what I have, what we've discussed earlier this morning. It is a future-oriented, systematic, and independent evaluation of organizational activities. Financial data may be used, but the primary sources of evidence are the operational policies and achievements related to the organizational objectives. Internal controls and efficiencies may be evaluated during this type of review. So, future-oriented siya kasi uh, we're not focused on the financial data. However, we can use the financial data. So yung pinaka-primary evidence natin is more on operational policies and achievements. So if these operational policies are in line with the desired policies uh, of the auditor or of the company. So, napag-aralan na rin natin kanina about the internal audit. There are kinds of internal audit, financial audit, management audit, operations audit. So, financial audit is more on financial information. Management audit is about management policies, audit of management policies. And then operations audit is about audit of operational policies. And then, for the bigger concept of audit, so kanina na-discuss na natin, yung auditing, malaki yung sakop niya. So, external audit, internal audit, and then compliance audit. So, external audit, ito yung ito yung pinag-aralan nyo, ito yung pag-aaralan nyo sa auditing theory or principles of audit pag fourth year nyo na. Do you already have auditing theory now or wala pa?
Wala pa po, sir.
Wala pa. Okay. So, at
Wala
least
pa po.
you already... Okay. So, at least you already have an idea about auditing. So, yung auditing theory nyo focuses on external audit, but operational auditing, it's more on internal auditing. So, internal audit, as we already discussed, it focuses on the management audit and operations audit. Then compliance audit, more on laws, rules, and policies. And all of these audit are applying the risk-based approach. And as an auditor, we are required to maintain independence. Kasi hindi tayo dapat magpa-apekto, hindi tayo dapat magpa-persuade, influence sa ibang tao. So yung auditing. Key tips to consider. So, napag-aralan na natin to, di ba? And then, ito yung napag-aralan natin kanina. Yung skills required for auditors to conduct operational audit. Ito po ba yon yung kanina?
Opo. Opo, sir.
And
Yes po.
I think we're done with this already, or may di-discuss pa po ba tayo?
Tapos na po.
Tapos na. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. These are the skills required for effective operational audit. So the following are skills required for an effective operational audit. So since operational audit is part of internal audit, so these are the skills also required for an internal audit. So first one is communication skills. Why do we need to have communication skills? Why do we need to have communication skills? What do you think? What's the reason behind bakit kailangan natin ng communication skills bilang isang auditor?
Ano po, sir? Para po malaman mo po yung mga problem ng each department, tas para ma-implement mo po yun and ma-improve po yun, sir.
Yes, because one way to conduct an effective audit, dapat marunong tayo makipag-communicate with different departments. That's why we must have communication skills. So, yun yung meron sa communication skills. Another one is problem solving and solution skills. So, syempre, bilang isang auditor, we must have problem solving and analytical skills on how to solve problems, simple mathematical computations, recalculations, recomputations. We need that. Kaya kailangan natin ng problem solving and solution skills. And then the third one, promote internal audit value. Kasi bilang auditor, bilang internal auditor, kasi before, na-phase out yung internal audit. So yung internal audit, nawawala siya kasi parang sinasabi ng iba, we are moving towards yung lesser people in the company kasi puro machine operated na, puro artificial intelligence na in the future. Kaso syempre, dahil internal auditor tayo, baka maapektuhan yung ating work. So, bilang isang auditor, we must promote the value of conducting internal audit. Kasi merong mga processes or workflows na hindi kaya ng hindi kaya i-conduct without any human intervention. So sa internal audit, kailangan pa rin ng human intervention. Although, mas mabilis kung gumagamit na tayo ng technology. And then, knowledge skills. Why do we need knowledge skills? Bakit kaya natin kailangan ng knowledge skills? Do you have any idea why, bakit kaya kailangan ng knowledge skills? What's the reason behind? Bakit daw magiging effective ang operational audit kung merong knowledge skills? So yeah, do you have any idea, class? So we need to have a knowledge skills being an internal auditor kasi we should get familiarized with the industry and processes doon sa particular department na i-audit natin. So, one example, kung ang i-audit natin yung operations department, halimbawa, operations department ng paggawaan ng piyaya, di ba? So, yung paggawaan ng piyaya, if we will ask the operations department o yung mga personnel sa operations department, tinanong natin paano gawin yung piyaya. And then ang sagot nila, ano lang yan, hopya na pinisa. So, kung wala tayong enough knowledge skills or wala tayong enough knowledge on how to create piyaya, edi madali na lang tayo maniniwala na ano nga pala siya, pinisat na kopya. So parang napapaisip tayo. Pero if we do have the knowledge on how to prepare a piyaya, then hindi tayo maniniwala agad. So similar rin yon with other processes. So kung magkakonduct tayo ng inquiry and observation and then magtatanong tayo with the personnel, hindi tayo basta-basta maniniwala because we have the enough knowledge dun sa processes nila. And then organizational skills. Why do we need to have organizational skills? Because sa organization, minsan pag malaki yung organization, hindi naman nag-uusap yung top management saka yung low level, yung mga nasa low level. Pero bilang isang auditor, you have the ability, you have the skills to communicate on all levels of the organization. Siyempre, paiba-iba ng level, iba-iba rin yung approach na gagawin nyo bilang isang auditor. And doon, in that way, you are parang flexible, napaka-flexible nyo having that organizational skills. We also have behavioral skills. As you can see, nakakulay pula siya kasi hindi naman talaga siya part netong skills required. Although, inherent siya dyan um, sa pagkakonduct ng effective operational audit. So, ano yung mga example ng behavioral skills? So, these are independence, objectivity, leadership, due professional care. So, ito yung mga kanina pa nating nababanggit, di ba? We have independence, objectivity. So, pag sinabing independence, hindi ka dapat ma-persuade, ma-influence. And then, objectivity, hindi ka dapat bias sa pag-conduct ng audit. And then, due professional care, dapat maingat ka. And then, professional skepticism, dapat lahat nung ibibigay sa'yo, you're always in doubt, you always have a question of the mind. So that's due professional care. Also, we have, you must possess conflict resolution skills. So, ano ba yung conflict resolution skills? Do you have any idea regarding conflict resolution skills? Anyone from this group, do you have any idea?
Sir, yung example niya po is for yung conflict po in terms of sa ka-team mo po ganon. Parang madali mo po siyang masolusyonan, ganon po.
Yes, that's correct. So, being an auditor, you must possess a conflict resolution or reconciliation skills kasi kailangan kapag merong conflict with other team or there are conflicts within the team members, kailangan ma-resolve agad within your level. So, within the group. So, kasi it will greatly affect the results of the audit kung hindi kayo magkakasundo doon sa team kasi you're performing as a team and you're moving towards one objective to see if the operating results have been achieved based on the operational policies of the company. So, kaya kailangan natin ng conflict resolution skills bilang isang auditor. So, kailangan bati-bati palagi pag nasa internal auditing. And then we really do have as well staff training and development skills. So, syempre kung ikaw ay isa ng batikan na auditor, internal auditor, and you're managing a lot of internal audit staffs, kailangan meron kang skills on how to train them, on how to develop their skills as well. Kasi, what do you call that? You're not training them to hold them as your staff members. You're training them to become like you in the future. So, ganun po yun. So, lagi natin iisipin if we become future leaders pagdating ng araw. So, become leaders in the future, we have to train our people not because gusto lang natin at gusto natin silang magstay sa atin, pero gusto natin sila mag-improve para kung aalis na sila or they will look for another job elsewhere, masasabi nila na na properly trained sila by under your name, under your management. So, yun yung isang quality or skills ng isang auditor. Then, we also have accounting skills. So, accounting skills, ito na yung inherent na to sa atin, diba? So, alam natin kung ano yung accounting and nasa dugo na natin yung accounting skills. Meron pa ba dito sa inyo nagda-doubt regarding your skills in accounting? May nagda-doubt po ba? Silence means yes? May nagda-doubt po ba? Kasi kapag dapat wala kang doubt sa sarili mo regarding accounting. Kasi I mean, it's part of your life now. Naka-embed na yan sa iyong dugo, sa iyong buto, sa iyong laman. Kahit saan ka pumunta, you are an accountant. So, syempre, sa accounting skills, you know how to prepare financial statements. You know the behavior of of the accounts or the line items within the financial statements. And alam mo yung mga financial ratios. Di ba do you already have management accounting or management advisory services? Do you already have that?
Wala pa po, sir.
Wala pa. How about financial management?
Ayun po, meron po.
May financial management na kayo. So pinag-aaralan niyo na yung mga financial analysis, di ba? And then cash flow analysis. Or wala pa kayo doon?
Meron po, sir.
Nandoon na. Okay. So, syempre, aware na kayo doon. So, hindi lang nakalimit yung accounting skills nyo sa pag-prepare ng financial statements, pero doon sa pag-evaluate din ng performance ng results ng financial information. So, meron kayo mga financial ratios, nagko-compute kayo, current asset divided by current liability. So, just like that. And change management skills. For the management skills, do you have any idea about change management skills?
I think, sir, yun yung pag-adapt sa changes na nangyayari sa business environment po. Like, for example, is yung pag-adapt po ng bagong techniques or pag, pag sabay sa technology. Ganun po.
Well, what you said is correct. Pero doon siya sa information technology and communication technology skills. But that is correct. But for the change management skills, ito yung skills mo whenever there is a change in the management. Halimbawa, dati yung management, very lax. Very lax yung management. And then now, yung nagbago yung management, yung mga pumalit, medyo mahigpit. So, ikaw bilang isang auditor, you have the ability to adapt sa nagbagong management. So, hindi ka basta-basta sumusuko, hindi ka basta-basta atras. Dati lax lang, ngayon medyo mahigpit. So, tayo bilang isang auditor, hindi tayo ganoon. So, we can adapt easily kung sino man yung management na nakaupo doon. And then for the IT or CT skills, ito yung information technology and communication technology skills. Bilang isang auditor or accountant, kailangan updated rin tayo with the latest technological changes. Siyempre, kailangan updated tayo with the latest IT, with the latest communication technology. So, before kasi yung mga auditor nun, ang communication nila is through mail, and then tumagal, nagkaroon ng email, and then today, gumagamit na tayo ng Messenger, gumagamit tayo ng Viber. So, napakadaling makipag-usap. So, with just a snap of our fingers or within our fingertips, madali na natin makausap yung mga gusto nating kausapin. Unlike before, medyo matagal pa. Kasi kung nasa ibang branch, so magpapadala pa tayo ng sulat. So, that's regarding IT and CT skills. How about cultural fluency skills? Do you have any idea about cultural fluency skills?
Ito po yung ano, parang skills mo kung paano ka makikisalamuha sa mga katrabaho mo na iba yung culture o kaya yung background sa pamumuhay mo na sa paraan na parang hindi mo sila ma-offend. Ganun po.
Yes, that's correct. So normally, if you would like to work in a multinational company, yung global companies, um, syempre iba-iba yung culture, iba-iba yung nationalities na makakasalamuhan natin. At ikaw bilang isang auditor, kailangan aware ka doon sa culture na meron sila. Just like for example, based on my experience, di ba tayo mga Filipino, kapag nag-agree tayo, nagno-nod tayo, di ba? Nod yung tumatango, di ba? So normal yun sa atin. Tama ba? Na tumatango tayo or nagno-nod kapag nag-agree tayo.
Apo.
Yes, and one of my experience when I uh, have a conversation with a Russian, nagno-nod siya. Yung tumatango siya. Eh, sa Russia kasi kapag tumatango, ibig sabihin, hindi sila nag-agree. So, syempre, tayo bilang isang auditor, kailangan updated tayo or we have the cultural, aware tayo sa cultural background ng mga kausap natin, nakakasalamuhan natin. And then another one, one of my experience is talking with an Indian national. So yung mga Indian nationals, I had my experience when I was in Bangalore, India. Mahilig sila sa strenuous activities, di ba? So, sa strenuous activity, syempre, di ba, magkakandak ng exercises. Meron kasi kaming, sa company namin, we promote yung, what do you call it, exercise. Kapag may bisita, magkakandak kami ng exercise, isasama namin yung bisita, and then merong isang site sa Bangalore, India, kung saan syempre puro mga Indian sila. So nung nag-indoor cycling, medyo umaalingasaw yung amoy nila. So syempre, dapat bilang isang auditor, hindi tayo ma-culture shock about about how they clean their cells. Kasi syempre, that's part of the Indian culture na parang tayo mga Filipino, medyo malinis tayo. So, dapat hindi tayo may culture shock, although, as in, mabaho talaga. So, kayo ba, based on your experience, sabihin natin, kahit wala pa kayong work, or if you have work, do you have any experience about cultural change or culture shock? Kung may na-experience kayo, may nakasalamuha kayong ibang nationalities?
Yes po, sir. Meron po.
All right. So, can you tell us the story about that?
Kaklase po namin siya, sir. Iba po yung niya. Iba po yung tawag dito, yung exchange student po siya, sir. Tas kailangan kailangan makisabay po kami sa kanya kasi syempre po iba po yung niya, yung language niya po. English po talaga dapat.
Oh, all right. Is that yung Angolan? Yan ba yung Angolan?
Opo, sir.
Or all right. So hindi niyo siya classmate ngayon, no? So under siya kay Ma'am VM, as far as I know. So just like that, so yung mga Angolans, so normally, 'di ba Angola is in Africa. And hindi ko pa naman siya na-meet personally that student. Pero okay naman ba siya? Okay naman ba siya I mean, hygiene, pananamit?
Okay naman po, sir.
Buti nga okay
Kaso po
naman eh.
ano,
So,
mis
I think
minsan lang po hindi po siya na
well,
ano.
that's good. Kasi, well, okay. So, one of my experience as well is when I went to Hong Kong naman for a trip. So, yung mga Hong Kong nationals doon. So, syempre, iba yung itsura nila compare sa atin. So, mostly uh, Chinese yung itsura nila, yung physical appearance. So, mukhang maganda, mukhang gwapo. Pero pag binuka nila yung yung kilikili nila, umaalingaso yung amoy. So, syempre, kung I mean, that's part of their culture. Kung sa kanila, baliwala lang yung amoy, and then sa atin, iba yung, I mean, it's a big issue. Syempre, tayo mag-a-adjust kasi we're not in our country. We live in a different country, and I mean, we live in a different country, and they live in Hong Kong, and syempre, tayo mag-a-adjust, and we must be aware about their culture. And similar to India, actually, um, sa India naman, they have this, what you call, a tribe. They have a tribe there. Sa kanila, sa lalaki, kapag mas mabaho yung paa, mas guwapo. So, ganun sa kanila. And then sa Saudi Arabia naman, kapag mas mabaho yung kilikili, mas manly, mas pogi. So, kailangan hindi tayo maging kailangan hindi natin ma-experience yung cultural shock. Kasi, syempre, we want to be globally competitive, and we must be aware about uh, other nationalities' culture. So, any question regarding skills required for effective operational audit? Do you have any question?
Wala po.
Wala po.
Okay, so okay. Thank you. So, I think we need to move on to the next slide. All right. So, the following are internal auditing standards. So, set by Institute of Internal Auditors. So, yung standards daw, hinati nila sa dalawang klase. Attribute standards and then performance standards. So, the attribute standards under this are purpose, authority, and responsibility. So, sino daw ba yung may authority and responsibility to conduct an audit? So, kanina yung responsibility to conduct an audit? Do you have any idea about this? Kung sino yung I mean, this is a trivial question. So, who is who's the ultimate responsible for the conduct of an audit, an internal audit?
Mga accountants.
I'm so sorry?
Mga accountants po, sir.
I mean, sa organization, sa organization, who is the ultimate responsible for the authority and conducting an audit? Sino yung responsible? Pag nag-conduct ng internal audit, sino yung pinaka-responsible doon? Letter A. Letter A. Stockholders. Letter B, management. Letter C, those charged with governance. Letter D, chief auditor.
Auditor.
Dog.
Letter D.
Letter D. So the answer is Chief
Auditor po.
Auditor or Executive Auditor. So, yun yung ano, normally, mga ganun yung questions, di ba? So, and then another one, another question naman, to whom is the internal auditor directly reporting to? Letter A, Board of Directors. Letter B, management. Letter C, those charged with governance. Letter D, President Duterte. So what's the answer?
A po.
Answer is letter A, Board of Directors. Kasi sa Board of Directors, nag-report ang internal auditors. Another question, similar dun sa pangalawang question. To whom is the internal auditor reporting to? Letter A, Board of Directors. Letter B, management. Letter C, those charged with governance. Letter D, President Duterte. Letter E, audit committee.
Letter E.
Audit committee.
Letter E.
Audit committee.
Audit committee.
So the best answer is letter E, audit committee. Kasi yung audit committee, sila ay board of directors din. Pero meron silang committee, what we call audit committee. So dalawa yung sagot, tamang sagot, pero we are looking for the best answer, which is audit committee. Pero kung walang audit committee, yung best answer naman doon is board of directors. Second one, independence and objectivity. So yung dalawang ito, independence and objectivity, lagi ito magkasama. As an auditor, we should maintain our independence kasi dapat hindi tayo ma-influensyahan. And then objectivity for us not to be biased when conducting an audit. So like one example kanina, syempre nag-audit and then yung i-audit mo yung operations manager na kamag-anak mo pala. So merong threat as to independence. And possibly may threat na rin as to objectivity kasi hindi ka na magiging independent dahil close kayo nung operations manager. So kailangan in all phases of audit, kailangan i-maintain natin yung pagiging independent at pagiging objective. Then we also have proficiency and due professional care. So napag-aralan na rin ito natin kanina. Yung due professional care, kailangan maingat. Proficient, kailangan alam natin yung ginagawa natin. Alam natin ginagawa natin at the same time, maingat. Letter D, quality assurance and improvement program. So bilang auditor, we provide assurance. So whether it's a high assurance, reasonable assurance, moderate assurance, or low assurance, as long as assurance has a quality. And we recommend improvements on the existing policies and programs. So these are the attribute standards. Also, we have performance standards. So sa performance standards naman, these are standards that pertains to the performance of an auditor, of an internal auditor. So first one is managing internal audit activity. So bilang isang internal auditor, we must learn how to manage our internal audit activity kasi meron tayong time frame na sinusunod on only up to when lang tayo magkakandak ng internal audit. Also, the nature of work. Kailangan alam natin yung nature ng work, ng mga ino-audit natin. Engagement planning. Ito, lagi nyo ito maririnig pag nag-audit theory na kayo or principles of audit. Kasi before we conduct an audit, kailangan meron muna tayong audit engagement. So, pag sinabing audit engagement, kailangan ito yung proposal natin on how we conduct audit and then ito yung plan natin for the proposed audit. So, yun yung engagement planning. And then, performing the engagement. Siyempre, once the audit engagement has been accepted, we need to perform the planned audit. So, kung mag-audit fieldwork tayo, so mag-conduct tayo ng fieldwork, mag-conduct tayo ng walkthrough test. So, maririnig nyo to doon sa future audit subjects ninyo. So, meron fieldwork, walkthrough test, pag-aaralan nyo po yan. And then, communicating results. So, after performing the audit, syempre, we also have the results on the conducted audit. We need to communicate it kanino. Kanino natin i-communicate yung results ng audit natin? Kanino po ba tayo nagre-report?
Sa
Intern. Board of
audit
Internal
committee.
Committee.
Sa audit committee. So, sa audit committee, which is also the board of directors. Diba? Pero not all board of directors are part of the audit committee. So, tama po yun. So, we have to communicate the results to the audit committee. Kung wala mang audit committee, to the board of directors. And then, after communicating the results, we have to monitor the progress kasi nga, magre-recommend tayo ng improvement plans doon sa sa nakita natin. So, kung merong progress, we have to monitor. And then, resolution on acceptance of risk. Kasi may mga risk tayo, habang kinakonduct natin yung audit, may mga risk tayong nakita. And then, we need to assess if these risk sobra bang pervasive o hindi naman ganoon kalala. So, syempre, bilang auditor, meron tayong acceptable level lang nung risk na pwede nating i-allow. And then, pag sobra na doon, sobra na sa level na accepted lang natin, tama na, di ba? Parang ganun yung, syempre bilang auditor, meron lang tayong acceptable level on when to accept risk. Nagigets po ba? So, for the next slide, risk-based audit. So, sa risk-based audit naman, well, risk-based audit, this is the modern audit techniques that the modern internal auditors are using. Not only internal auditors, but also all auditors. So, whether it's external auditor or whether they are external auditor, internal auditor, or compliance auditor, they are using risk-based audit. So how do we conduct risk-based audit? So first of all, we have to identify the risk. Well, we have to identify the risk kung meron bang risk na nag-i-exist or meron bang risk doon sa operational activities ng company. So we are, now what we are discussing here is about operational audit. So doon lang muna tayo focus. So i-identify natin kung ano yung risk na meron nag-exist doon sa operational activities ng company. So once we identify those risks, we have to assess the risk. We have to assess the risk. Is it negligible? Okay lang ba? Kahit may risk dyan, negligible naman, wala namang kwenta yung effect? Or may risk siya pero very low lang, may effect pero hindi naman kapansin-pansin? Kung yung risk ba na na-assess natin is high, nakaka-apekto siya pero hindi naman siya totally makaka-affect sa overall decision ng company? Or is it severe? The risk is severe. Ibig sabihin, na doon sa decision ng company. Or is it catastrophic? So, yung risk ba, is it catastrophic? As in, may possibility mawala na yung company because of this risk. So, that is on the risk assessment. And then, after we assess the risk, we need to test those risks and what is the response. ano ba yung response nung risk doon sa gagawin natin. So that's why we are doing audit. So we are applying audit approaches. Anong response nung risk doon sa ginawa nating audit. So from that point, we can validate kung tama ba yung assessment natin sa mga risks. And then, syempre, we have to gather evidences. So bilang isang auditor, syempre, we are conducting audit and we cannot we cannot report an audit report without any supporting evidences. So, maebidensya tayo. So, ganun talaga. Pag CPA ka, pag accountant ka, lagi tayong nakakling doon sa evidences. Naniniwala po ba kayo doon na we are more, evidence matters to us?
Yes.
Yes po.
Can you still hear me, class?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes po, sir.
Opo, sir.
Alright. Sige. Thank you. So, at least I know na baka kasi intermittent yung internet connection. Alright. Okay. So, let's go to the next slide if you don't have any question. But if you have questions, you can ask me now. So for the next slide, we have types of operational risks. So what are those types of operational risks? We have what we call capacity risk. So ano yung capacity risk? From the word capacity, do you have any idea what capacity risk is or what is capacity? Do you have any idea what is capacity or what is capacity risk?
Ako, sir, try po. Hello, sir. Hello.
Alright. Sige po. Sige. Alright, please go ahead, JJ.
Based po dun sa word na capacity, for example, kapag yung operations nyo ay manufacturing, so capacity risk, ang capacity risk nyo doon ay kung halimbawa ang kaya nyo lang ay 500, pero dahil ang ginawa ng management ay tumanggap ng orders na beyond sa capacity nung nakaya nung operations dahil nga sa kagustuhan na kumita ng mas malaki. So, nag-involve sila ng capacity risk dun, sir, kasi nagkaroon sila ng risk na masisira yung equipments na ginagamit o ma-overwork yung mga tao. Parang ganun po. Kumbaga, related siya sa mismong operations as in. For me.
Well, actually gusto ko yung ganong idea mo na about sa capacity risk kasi just like what you said, ito lang yung normal capacity nila pero gusto nila mag-exceed dahil gusto nila marami pa silang ma-produce pero dahil doon na-stress yung mga tao, na-stress din pati yung equipment, nasira. So that could be a kind of capacity risk. So sobrang ganda ng ganong idea mo kasi hindi ko yun naisip. Dahil yung iniisip ko is iba naman, the other way around. So what I mean, what you're thinking right now is baligtad nung capacity risk na sinasabi nung nung nag-i-exist na mga explanation ng nasa libro. Pero tama yung sinabi mo because that is also a capacity risk. So parang, that's a very good idea. Kasi yung capacity risk, based sa libro, based sa pag-aaral ng iba, these are the risk kung saan this is your normal capacity. Sabihin natin, this is your normal capacity. You have, you can produce 500,000 of units per day. But your operations can only produce 100,000 capacity for that day. So there is a 400,000 units idle capacity na hindi na produce. So that is a capacity risk. Diba? So yun yung isa sa explanation ng mga ibang authors. However, yung explanation ni JJ is another way around. Na tama rin naman, which is a capacity risk. So, one example, diba, sa cost accounting, are you aware of the idle capacity?
Yes.
Napag-aralan niyo na po ba yung idle capacity?
Opo, sir. Opo.
Yes, diba? So, yung idle capacity, ibig sabihin ng idle capacity, ito yung within your capacity, pero hindi mo na-produce. Hindi mo siya na-produce within your normal capacity. Kaya mo namang i-produce. So, that is a capacity risk. So, yung pinag-aaralan nyo pala sa cost accounting, pinag-aaralan nyo yung idle capacity, ay capacity risk rin pala yun. Nakukuha po ba?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So, yun yung example na capacity risk. Ano pa yung mga example ng capacity risk if you have any idea what is capacity risk?
Sir, pwede rin po ba yung capacity po ng person na kunwari yung ang capacity lang niya po is yung sa marketing department tapos nilagay po siya sa kunwari sa human resource. Pwede po bang capacity risk yun, sir?
Yes, pwede po yun. So, baka siya naging pwede kasi that is the inability of your personnel to produce quality service. So kung magaling siya sa marketing, nilagay mo sa HR, tapos hindi niya gusto yung sa HR, hindi siya magiging productive in that department. Or kung magaling siya sa sales, tapos nilagay mo siya sa production, kasi hindi niya gusto mag-work sa production area, edi hindi siya makaproduce ng quality service. Kung hindi maganda yung quality service, babagal din yung production. So, that is also part of capacity risk. So, any other, another one, so, so kanina, di ba, yung idle capacity, that's a capacity risk kasi hindi ka nakaproduce ng units within your normal capacity. Kulang yung na-produce. Ikalawa, yung na-produce naman, sobra-sobra, pero nasira yung equipment, na nag-low morale yung mga tao kasi na-stress sila, pinapatrabaho sila ng sobra, that's also capacity risk. Another one is yung hindi maganda yung quality ng service ng tao dahil nilipat mo siya from one department to another department, that's also capacity risk. And then last example is nag-produce din ng maraming units, excessive products. Pero sa sobrang pag-produce ng excessive products, ang lumabas, puro mga wasted products na siya, hindi maganda yung quality. So, excessive products, pero naging waste products na lang siya. So, that's also a capacity risk. So, do you get my point about that? About the capacity risk?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yun yung mga example, normal example. And then, let's go to strategic risk. So, ano naman yung strategic risk? From the word strategy, ano yung naiisip niyo about sa strategic risk?
Plan po, plan.
For business decision po. Yung parang example niyo po kanina yung sa Nokia.
All right. So, one good example is tama yung sa Nokia. So, just like what John Mark has said, yung plan, and then si Princess about yung sa example is Nokia. So, one reason behind that strategic risk ni Nokia is that they failed to respond to the changing customers' needs. Dati, mahilig tayo sa keypad, di ba? Kasi sila yung unang nag-produce nun, sila unang nag-introduce nun sa market. But since lumabas si Samsung, lumabas si iPhone, pati yung iba pa, puro touchscreen na sila, napag-iwanan si Nokia. So, hindi kasi sila nag-respond sa changing customers' preferences. Kaya, nalugi sila, napag-iwanan sila ng technology. They don't have any fault pagdating sa operation, pero they have fault pagdating doon sa pag-adapt sa changing needs. So, kasalanan niya ng sales, kasalanan niya ng marketing, research and development, as well as nung internal audit team nila. Kasi hindi rin nila napansin yun. Nakikita nila mas marami yung bumibili ng mga touch screen, but they still cling into the keypad. Baka akala nila may bibili pa ng mga primitive phones or mga vintage type na phones. Pero hindi nila na-assess yung market. So, ganun yung nangyari sa Nokia. So, ano pa ba yung mga example ng strategic risk? Aware ba kayo sa product na fit? Aware ba kayo doon? May fit, FIT. FIT, do you have that? That's fit, FIT. Merong commercial ang fit noon. Ang ano nila noon, ang pinopromote nila, yung gulay, kapag bumili ka ng gulay, lalagyan mo lang ng fit na product, ibababad mo sa tubig yung gulay, tapos matatanggal na yung mga lupa-lupa, yung mga bacteria, mga dumi doon sa gulay na nakadikit. Pero, nasa na ba yung fit na yon, yung fit na product ngayon? Wala na siya. So, ano kaya yung reason? Bakit nawala na yan sa market?
Sir, parang hindi naman po incline yung paggawa nila nung commercial dun sa product po nila.
Kasi ano, 'di ba? Parang ang reason is parang medyo maarte na, 'di ba? Na parang pwede mo namang hugasan yung gulay. Kasi syempre magluluto ka pa, tapos ang gagawin mo pag mag-apply ka ng fit, ibababad mo pa, tapos magko-consume ka pa ng time. So parang hindi siya in-accept ng market kasi it's very impractical. So mali yung strategic decision ng company to produce that kind of product. Hindi naman pala in-accept ng market yung product nila. So that's a bad decision on their part. So do you have any other examples regarding strategic risk?
Yan po.
And okay, so next one is the compliance risk. So from the word compliance, syempre, we are complying with the current laws, rules, and regulation. So kung hindi tayo nakaka-comply, so there is a risk as to compliance. So yun yung sa compliance risk. And then we also have natural environmental risk. Do you have any idea about natural environmental risk?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So can you give us any example, just one example about natural environmental risk?
Sa Palawan po kasi, doon po kasi nakatira yung mga parents ko ngayon. Malapit po doon sa mining site. May mining site po kasi na malaki doon. RTN, Rio Tuba Nickel.
Mining.
Yes.
Rio Tuba Mining Corporation.
Yes, yes sir. So, malaking natural environmental risk po yung kinakaharap nila kasi ini-envision po na pinipredict na in 50 years or so ma-deplete na yung resources po na nakukuha nila doon. So, ganun. Malaki yung kita nila ngayon but in the long run, papalapit sila ng papalapit doon sa pag-decline nga ng mga nakukuha nilang natural resources, which means wala na silang income. So, ang ginagawa nila ngayon ay sinusulit nila yung pagkuha ng resources na yon and they are exploring naman sa ibang parts kung may makikita pa sila hanggat sa may pondo pa sila para sa expedition. Parang ganun po.
Yes, actually that's true. Isa ako sa saksi about sa Palawan because I've been there for so many times and I've been to Rio Tuba, Palawan.
Nice.
Yes, for so many. Nagstay ako doon sa sa tinutuluyan ni President Gloria doon sa may malapit sa Nickel Asia Corporation. So, I've seen, actually, napuntahan ko na rin yun, yung sa Rio Tuba Nickel Mining Corporation, RTN MC, and meron pa...
Yes sir, may isa pa May isa pa.
May nakita din ako isa.
CBNC.
Yeah,
parang.
The CBNC, the Coral Bay Nickel Corporation. Yes. Actually, kilala ko yung may-ari nun.
Oh.
And yes, that's one of the reason why I don't want to work anymore with mining corporation. Kasi doon ko nakita yung isang bundok nawala.
Yes.
And sa Rio Tuba is sobrang pula ng lupa. Kasi
opo. Tama.
Oo, and pag maulan, sobrang kapal sa sapatos. And yeah, that's one of the reason why I don't want to work anymore with the mining corporation because I've seen one mountain na it got flattened for just a matter of 1 to 2 years, and then na-expose yung mga minerals na nandoon, and then may isa pa dong mining what do you call it? Unichamp, the Unichamp Mineral Corporation. So this is an natural environmental risk in terms of the inability of the company to secure the resources, the non-renewable resources like minerals that we have on the mountains, on those mountains. And syempre, kung wala silang social development management plan or rehabilitation plan pagdating doon sa kabundukan, kasi may ibang company, they promote responsible mining. Well, I'm not sure kung responsible nga ba talaga, but they are promoting responsible mining kung saan miminahin nila yung isang bundok, pero at the same time, i-rebuild nila yung bundok, pero artificial na. So, syempre, natanggal na yung mineral resources doon, it's non-renewable. So, hindi na ganon katibay yung bundok na gagawin nila kung i-rehabilitate nila yon. Kasi yung nagpapatibay doon, yung mga minerals na nandoon sa ilalim ng lupa. So, another example ng natural environmental risk naman is like what we are experiencing now, yung COVID-19 pandemic, di ba? So, sa COVID-19 pandemic, although ang bali-balita ng iba, the virus is artificial, but since it is inevitable, we consider it as natural and environmental, producing a natural and environmental risk. So, bakit kaya siya natural and environmental risk on the part of businesses? Kasi di ba, bawal lumabas yung mga tao ngayon. So, syempre, hindi naman lahat nakakapag-trabaho, work from home. So, pwede bang magtrabaho work from home ang cashier? Pwede bang magtrabaho work from home ang factory worker? Pwede bang magtrabaho work from home ang embalsamador? So, hindi naman pwede, diba? So, isipin mo, mag-work from home yung embalsamador, dala-dala niya sa bahay mo.
Naka-stream pa yun.
Diba? So, syempre, dahil they don't have the ability to work from home, no work, no pay sila. So, syempre, ma-affect yung overall performance ng economy natin, pati ng mga businesses, yung microeconomies among businesses. So, yun yung isang risk na nakikita ko about this COVID-19 pandemic. Then last one is political risk. Do you have any idea about political risk?
From the word itself, political, it has something to do with in the administration po or laws, ganun po. For example po, yung train law.
Well, pwede, and that's possible, political risk, because some of the congressmen, they said that the train law is politically made. But one good example nowadays is si Donald Trump, diba? Galit na galit siya sa mga Chinese companies. So, dahil sa galit siya sa Chinese companies, gusto niya mawala yung TikTok sa Amerika. So, yung TikTok, mostly yung mga Americans doon gumagamit ng TikTok. Siyempre, kung ikaw yung TikTok corporation sa Amerika and then mayroong risk na mawala yung business mo doon because President Donald Trump doesn't like Chinese companies, syempre, yun? Political risk yun on your operational activities kung ikaw si TikTok company. Another one example is yung dito naman sa Philippines, si President Duterte, galit siya sa Facebook ngayon, di ba? So, since tayo yung considered as capital, social media capital of the world, malaki yung impact no pagbaban ng Facebook sa Philippines. So, malaki yung impact nun sa operation ng Facebook. So, that's also a political risk. So, those are example of risks under operational activities. So, mga operational risk yon, we have capacity risk, strategic risk, compliant risk, natural environmental risk, then political risk. So, this risk involves the people, equipment, and policies. Siyempre, we have to check kung ina-assess natin yung mga risk na to, we have to check kung is it enough ba yung resources natin, yung people, enough ba or kulang yung equipment, enough ba, kulang, or outdated? And then policies. So we also have to check, tama ba yung policies? Is it updated or is it outdated? So from these three resources, malalaman natin kung ano yung reason behind those operational risks na nakikita natin. Do you have any question regarding operational risks?
None, sir.
None, sir.
All right, so thank you. So we move on to the next slide. So the next slide, this is based on the video we have uploaded on our Facebook page. So these are the 3 lines of defense that we can use, or we are using to have an effective operational activity or to prevent fraud. So first line of defense, we have management control and then internal control measures. Siyempre, management control, ito yung controls within the management. Halimbawa, sa cheque, dalawa yung signatory bago mag-prosper yung, what do you call this, ang disbursement. Diba? So, magbibili ng equipment, so dapat dalawa yung signatory sa cheque. Kasi, kung isa lang yung signatory, marami nang bibilhin na equipment na yan, kahit unnecessary yung equipment. Ngayon, there are times na may management control nga, pero magkasabwat yung dalawang members ng management. So, anong mangyayari? Pwedeng gumawa sila ng fictitious transaction, tapos gagawa din sila ng cheque, tapos ilalabas yung pera. So, kanila na yung pera. Ngayon, doon naman pumapasok yung internal control measures. So, before gawin yung cheque, before i-sign yung cheque, kailangan i-check kung valid ba yung transaction. So, doon naman pumapasok yung internal control measures. And then for the cash, syempre, kailangan i-check kung tama ba, kung sa supplier ba talaga napunta yung pera na ibinayad. Ngayon, kung hindi na nga maganda yung management control, hindi rin maganda yung internal control, meron tayong second line of defense naman. So we have the financial control, security, risk management, quality, inspection, and compliance. So with these second line of defense, mape-prevent natin kung ano man yung kakulangan doon sa first line of defense. Ngayon, sabihin natin, yung first line of defense hindi na nga maganda. Yung second line of defense hindi rin maganda. We have the third line of defense. So yun tayo, yung internal auditor. So we conduct internal audit to check if the first line and second line of defense are still effective. So kung hindi na effective, we recommend improvements on these defenses or controls. So, nakukuha po ba yung idea about dito sa 3 lines of defense model?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move to the next slide. The following slide presented are the audit evidences that you normally see when conducting an audit. Pero eto, gagawin ko siya based sa strongest, moderate, and then weakest type of evidence. So, syempre, doon tayo palagi sa strongest evidence. Kasi ma-encounter nyo to. Pag nasa 4th year na kayo, nasa 5th year, meron tayong tinatawag na strongest evidence. So, pipiliin natin lagi yung strongest evidence. So, ano yung mga example ng strongest evidence? So, we have document inspection. Bakit kaya strongest evidence yung document inspection?
Siyempre, sir, lahat po nung nangyayari at galaw dun sa loob ng operations, naka-ano po yun, naka-document po yun. So kung may anomalya, dun unang-una mare-reflect, sir.
Naka-reflect siya sa document. Siyempre,
Yes.
pag in-inspect mo siya bilang isang auditor, meron kang direct knowledge, meron kang first-hand information kung yung document ba ay tama or mali, or fictitious ba yung transaction. So, kapag na-inspect mo yung document, lumalabas, that is a strong evidence kung tama ba o may anomaly doon sa document. Pangalawa is observation. Kaya siya naging strongest evidence kasi you are the one who's directly observing the process or the flow of transaction. Pangatlo is inspection, but kasi ikaw yung directly nag-inspect bilang auditor. Pang-apat is professional skepticism. So, I think na-discuss na natin to kanina, yung professional skepticism, di ba? So,
Yes.
kailangan maging mapagduda, di ba? Mapagduda, mapagmatsyag, laging may questioning of the mind, di ba? And then, last one is inquiry. Kapag ang inquiry mo is coming from a third party, you inquire from a third party, that is a strong evidence. Pero kapag ang in-inquiran mo is employee or part ng mga ino-audit mo, hindi siya strong evidence. It is only a weak evidence. Kapag third party, syempre hindi siya related doon sa sa business. So strong evidence 'yon. Hindi naman magsasabi ng hindi totoo 'yon. Pero kung ang in-inquiran mo is employee, may possibility na hindi siya magsabi ng totoo. So moderate evidences, we have recalculation, re-performance. So kaya siya naging moderate kasi may computation but you recalculate it, you conduct again performance analysis, chinek mo kung tama lang. So na-validate mo, so that's a moderate evidence. And then working papers, flowchart, internal control, questionnaires. So for the working papers, flowcharts, concept maps, di ba nagawa niyo na to nung, I think, second year?
Opo, sir.
Yes. Ma'am VM? Kay Ma'am VM ba?
Opo.
Yes.
Ma'am VM. Yung iba kay Ma'am Tuazon, di ba? Tama ba? I'm not sure kung si Ma'am Tuazon nagpapagawa din na. Pero si Ma'am VM is nagpapagawa na. And then for weak evidences, testimonial coming from employees and inquiry coming from employees. So kailangan bilang auditor, kailangan alam natin kung paano i-distinguish kung ano yung mga evidences na strong, ano yung mga evidences na moderate, ano yung mga evidences na weak. Kasi may mga questions, minsan tinatanong, which of the following evidences most likely, sasabihin, most likely is the strongest evidence. So at least alam nyo na yung idea, ano yung mga evidences ang pinaka-strong, moderate, or weak lang. So any question regarding evidences?
Wala po.
Wala po.
Okay, so let's move to another slide. So as you can see, the following are 7 E's we need to attain to have a success operating activities of the business. The first one is effectiveness. Ano nga ba yung effectiveness?
Effectiveness. Ako po, sir, try po.
Sige po.
Yung effectiveness po sa operations ay yung kumbaga na-meet yung desired na goal na or performance na ine-expect sa bawat tao at bawat equipment na involved dun sa sa operations. Tapos hindi lang din doon kundi sa kung tama ba yung pagkakalagay sa mga tao sa kanya-kanyang posts nila. Parang ganun po sir yung idea ko sa effectiveness.
Well, tama po yun. So, effectiveness, it measures how appropriate and how we achieve the goals, of the operating activities of the firm. So, yun yung meron sa effectiveness. So, doon natin na-measure kung na-achieve natin yung goals or achievements nung operating policies, operating activities, then we can say that it is very effective. The operating activities are very effective. So next one is efficiency. So ano naman yung efficiency? So any idea about efficiency?
For me, sir, yung sa pag-comply po, kung yung sa paggawa kunyari po ng products, may deadline po na nakalagay po doon. Kunyari sa customer, umorder sila ng ganito, tapos may specific date na nakalagay. Kung efficient po sila or nagagamit nila ng tama yung oras ng tama para sa paggawa po ng product or pag-comply sa mga regulation ng BIR or ano.
Well, that's correct. Bakit ang gagaling niyo?
Sir,
So,
din,
efficient.
yung din
sige
po,
sige.
sir, yung
Sir,
yung mga natural resources po is nagagamit po siya ng maayos, tas hindi po siya nasasayang. In that way po, efficient po yung paggamit po ng company.
Tama din. So that's also correct. So efficiency and time is directly related to each other, 'di ba? Kapag na produce yung required product or required services within the time frame, lumalabas productive yung operating activities ng company or productive mismo yung company. And then that is one way to tell na efficient yung operational policies ng company, efficient yung company. How about economy? Do you have any idea about economy?
Yes, sir.
Sige,
go.
Yeah. Sige. Saan po, sir, is yung paggamit po ng supplies, mga natural resources sa pag-produce. And rin po yung production or distribution ng mga resources. Tamang
Alright.
distribution.
Alright, so tamang distribution ng resources. So about economy, pag sinabi natin kasing economy, ano ba to? Alam nyo yung EQ diapers. Napanood nyo yung commercial ng EQ diapers?
Ano po dun, sir?
Yung bata.
Yun ba yung...
Yung commercial, 'di ba? Yung commercial nung you nagdi-discuss yung dalawang magulang, 'di ba? So they're talking about the
Diapers.
economic value of the diaper
I see,
more
I see.
than the price of the diaper. So, parang mas maganda daw yung economic value ng diaper kaysa sa price ng diaper. So, yun yung exact definition ng economy. Bakit?
Yes.
Para masabing economical ang operational activities, dapat mas taas yung economic value nung binili mo kaysa sa price nung binili mo. So,
Yes.
yun doon mo masasabing economical yung, yun. And then excellence. Ano naman yung excellence? Any idea about excellence?
I think po yung pagdating sa performance to produce quality product.
I'm so sorry. Can you say it again?
When it comes to performance to produce quality product.
So, I mean, that's correct. So, tama po yun. Kapag maganda ang performance, maganda ang na-produce na quality ng product, so doon mo na measure yung excellency no operating policies, operating activities no firm, ng company. So, yun po yun. So, we're now done with effectiveness, efficiency, economy, and then excellence. How about the ethics?
Ito po yung ito po yung behavior based on ideas about kung ano ba yung tama siya sa mali. Tapos makakatulong siya sa auditor sa pag-decision making.
So, tama po yun. So, about ethics, it focuses more on the norms, acceptable practice within the company. Kung tama ba, tama ba yung ginagawa? Is it for the greater good of the many? So, ganun po yung lagi nating tinatanong about sa ethics. So, yung behavior ba, yung action ba, mas nakakabuti ba yon sa mas nakakarami? Or are we following the golden rule na kapag ayaw mong gawin sa iba, kung ayaw mong gawin sa sarili mo, wag mong gawin sa iba. So doon pumapasok yung ethics. How about equity?
Ito po yung sige.
Go.
Para po
Sige
sa akin,
po,
sir, sa internal management po, kung isang leader ka po, dapat po hindi ka maging bias. Dapat equal po yung pagtingin mo sa lahat ng mga empleyado mo. Yun po.
Tapos po, from the word itself na equity, dapat po, equal lang yun nga, yung tingin mo sa katrabaho mo, may dignity tsaka may respect ka po sa mga nakakasalamuhan.
Well, that's correct. So equity refers to our treatment. It relates to the treatment of others with dignity and respect. So, normally, equity is often taught in terms of fairness, reciprocity, and impartiality. So, fairness, so dapat fair ka sa lahat. Reciprocity, kung ano yung ginagawa mo sa isa, ginagawa mo rin dapat sa iba. Kung ano yung ginagawa niya sa'yo, gagawin mo rin sa kanya. And then, impartiality, so dapat hindi ka quick to judge so normally kasi actually equity and ethics go together. They go together. kung walang ethics, wala ring equity. So, if you'll try to read the book, mapapansin nyo yan na ethics saka equity is magkalapit sa iba. Normally, ang equity, may business ethics din yan sa ilalim niya. And then last one, ecology. So what is ecology?
Sir, yung ecology po, it has something to do with nature po. Yung decision making po ng isang auditor or ng company is kung ano yung magiging effect niya po sa environment po. Like for example po yun sa mining po. Yung kung paano niya po maapektuhan yung yung mga yung surrounding po doon. For example, yung mga nakatira po doon kung paano maapektuhan po.
Yes, that's correct. So,
Tama po ba?
ecology, yes, tama po. So, we are also considering the ecological effects ng business operations pagdating sa sa society. So, meron tayong social responsibility. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng bagong uri ng accounting, the social responsibility accounting or corporate social responsibility. So kung mapapansin niyo yun, kapag nag-work na kayo, CSEC nagre-require niyan, corporate social responsibility. And then, syempre kapag nandun kayo sa nature ng business kung saan nagpo-produce kayo ng hazardous waste, you are required to conduct an environmental impact assessment kung saan dapat i-measure natin, i-assess natin ano ba yung effect ng operation nyo pagdating sa environment. Kasi kapag hindi mo na-achieve yung ecological success among the 7 E's, hindi pa rin mako-consider as successful yung operating activities or operational policies ng company. So, that's more on ecology. So do you have any questions? Still have any question regarding the 7 E's?
Ano lang po sir, may gusto lang i-share.
Ay, po. Sige po.
Yung sa ecology po na yung parang ang nakikita ko po sa ecology, siya yung maliit na detalye kung titignan mo yung isang operation, pero siya yung pinakamahalaga. Because when you are taking into account the ecology dun sa 7 E's, magre-reflect yun sa efficiency mo. Kung efficient ka nga, yet nadadamage mo naman yun ng matindi, yung natural resources, yung natural na habitat ng animals, magre-reflect naman yun sa ethics and equity mo na kung saan yung excellence mo bababa kasi hindi makikita ng consumers na yes, you are producing an excellent product or even a service, but at the expense of the natural resources which are taking thousands of years to be rehabilitated. Kaya yung parang ganun po sir. Parang nakita ko lang na lahat ng other E's nagre-reflect kung paano mo titignan tong ecology. Sinare ko lang po.
Well, that's a good idea. So that means to say, all of the 7 E's, they all go together. One will not exist without another one. So all of the 7 E's, they go together. So tama po yun. Normally, so in this kind of times where we are abusing the environment, so people are more profit-oriented rather than environmental-oriented, be an environmental-oriented individual or citizens of the world. Syempre, kung profit-oriented lang tayo, we cannot consider ourselves as very successful someday kasi we are profiteering at the expense of others' losses like the natural resources. Siyempre, we are profiteering at the expense of the natural resources. So we are exploiting the natural habitats of those endemic or endemic species on a particular area, diba? So, just like one example before, nung bago pa lang buksan yung, what they call this, underground river sa Palawan, diba? Before, wala pa silang environmental fee. So, yung
Yes.
environmental fee, nung wala pang environmental fee, wala masyadong naglilinis doon sa sa may underground river, doon sa cave. And kung mapapansin niyo, kung bibisitahin niyo yung underground river, yung cave doon, may mga sulat, may mga scratches kasi palatandaan na merong human intervention. But as of now, since we are promoting ecotourism, so before we go to environmental places,
Bayad.
may bayad na. So environmental fee, ecological fee,
Permit.
para ma-maintain yung area. Diba? So that's one way of implementing social responsibility to the society, to the environment. And um, at meron na ngayong bago kasi, yung sustainability reporting. So nasa ano na to, nasa higher education na to, nasa graduate school, yung sustainability reporting. So although I would like to share it to all of you kasi maganda kasi yung gano'n na at least ngayon pa lang aware kayo na ini-implement na paunti-unti yung sustainability reporting. One example is, kung mapapansin niyo yung mga bottled waters, 'di ba? Dati malalaki yung takip noon. Ngayon nagliliitan na yung takip ng mga bottled waters. Napapansin niyo ba 'yon?
Ngayon
Parang
lang
mas
po
maliit
na-realize.
Diba? Dati malaki
Baka po
yung
gumagamit po
bottled
sila
water.
ng metal straws po.
Metal straws, di ba? Yung ngayon, dati, malaki yung takip ng bottled water. Parang halos kainin na yung leeg ng bottled water. Pero dahil ngayon, we are promoting a plastic-free world. In that way, kasi hindi kayang alisin ng mga bottler companies yung plastic bottles. In that way, kaya nilang i-minimize yung consumption ng plastic by reducing the size of the cup of the bottled water. So that's sustainability reporting, and that's social corporate responsibility of the companies. So that has effect on the ecological side, efficiency side, effectiveness side, ethics. So which is, form part of the 70s of having a successful operation of the company. So any other question or any other experiences that you can share? Do you have any question?
None, sir.
All right. So if you don't have any questions, I would like you to what do you call this? I would like you to answer the questions and chapter questions from chapter 1 to chapter 4, because we're now done with chapter 1 to up to chapter 4. So normally mga 10 to 15 questions lang naman yung mga end of chapter questions if you can answer. So next time, next meeting, we will answer it. We will try to answer it, or kung pwede, I will create a link where you can upload your answers. So if you don't have any questions, thank you so much, and I highly appreciate your effort of extending your time up to now, which is dapat nagpapahinga na kayo. And yung aklat na sasagutan is yung kay Murdoch, because we are using Murdoch. Kay Dr. Murdoch, yung operational auditing, Iba yung isa is handouts. So, no other questions?
None.
None so
Okay.
far. So thank you so much, class, and see you next meeting again. And thank you again for your time. This meeting has been recorded, and I will try to upload it in our uh, private Facebook page. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
po.
sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and happy weekend.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye po.
Bye po.